What's up? My name is Eric Butler. This channel is called Report and Opine. I am back. And from Pix 11, New York's very own, police want New York City businesses to require customers show their faces. Wow. Who could have imagined, after all the crime, the smash and grabs, the robberies, the break-ins, now you want people to take off the mask? Who could have seen this coming? This is such groundbreaking stuff, right? This is a complete 180. They were forcing you. They didn't just ask you or tell you. They forced you to wear a mask to get into a greasy Popeye's chicken. And now you can't get into that same greasy Popeye's chicken with the mask because they're always going to move the goalposts. It's whack-a-mole out there. But whatever you do, make sure that you comply because they always know what's best for you. This is completely despicable. And I knew, for the record, that these masks were going to serve a double purpose. Well, almost a double purpose because the first purpose they were supposed to serve, they didn't really do that at all. But they did allow people to be anonymous when they were setting fire to buildings and breaking windows in New York City for a man that died in Minneapolis, right? So it wasn't hard to see. Not all of us, but I saw it very early on. And I knew the moment that they said, you have to wear a mask to get on the train, it was nonsense. They can't make that rule. It's all completely phony. And now, 3 years later, they're doing a complete 180 because you are just supposed to follow whatever. That almost makes me want to wear a mask just to spite these terrible people. Anyways, they said, customers should be required to show their faces before being allowed into businesses, NYPD officials urged on Tuesday. Removing a mask and allowing identification can be a, quote, condition of entry, NYPD Chief of Department Jeffrey Madry said. Wow, a condition of entry is not wearing a mask. How could that be? That sounds pretty anti-science to me. That just doesn't seem safe at all, right? I mean, they are trying to rewrite history and pretend that all of those mandates, all of that nonsense, we fired you from your job, whatever. You might be able to get your job back, but you're not going to get the back pay. You know, we ruined your life, whatever. I mean, it was in our, these people are completely despicable. They're absolute thugs. You had, at the time, Andrew Cuomo quite literally turning this into we see it everywhere. It's not just him, but an us versus them thing. If you didn't wear a mask, then that person doesn't care if your grandma dies, right? And then, of course, it went on to the pharmaceutical stuff. If you didn't do it, then you were basically, at one point, there were even articles of talking about charging people with attempted homicide. These people were all through the roof. Now, after what we all know, what many of us knew, what I certainly knew, a lot of people knew, is now turning out to be mainstream news articles. Oh, lab leak. Yeah, well, bro, sure, right? We all knew that, and now same thing with the election, right? Oh, the secret cabal that fortified the election. Oh, you mean the people that rigged it? So the guy... Let me stop. Moving on. People are coming up to our businesses, sometimes with masks, sometimes mask hoods and latex gloves, and they're being buzzed in and allowed to enter the store. We have a robbery. Yeah, well, you made this bed, you idiots. Before the Rona pandemic, most businesses wouldn't allow people inside with covered faces. It's since become a way of life. Okay, right? So that's the point. Before Rona, you couldn't do it. And then during Rona, you had to do it. And now that it's over and people are getting robbed left and right, you have to take the mask off again. So basically what they're saying is when we say jump, you say how high. That's it. Every single little move they make is either a lie. Well, most of them are lies, and they are lies to gain more control, right? I made a video the other day from an article about how the norovirus just isn't being tracked enough. We just don't know. So when somebody gets food poisoning or a stomach virus, then we need to know so we can keep you safe, right? So next thing you know, this is just bizarre. And it shouldn't even surprise me anymore. It's obviously par for the course for these weirdo political establishment hacks that want to control every single thing you do. Now they don't want to control you from burning down a business and stealing and robbing people and pushing people on the tracks. They don't really want to stop that. They'll pretend they do. They don't want to stop your actions. They don't want to control your actions. They only want to control your thoughts. And that's why they're telling you that a man can be a woman and a girl can be a boy and the mask is going to save your life and the pharmaceuticals is going to save your life. None of which is true. Every single thing with them is life and death. Because if they don't scare you into submission, then it's all going to be completely transparent. And for most of us, it is completely transparent. There's a pocket full of New Yorkers, I guess, maybe in Williamsburg, some weirdo hipsters that are still buying this stuff. But even them, even the people who were wearing 3-4 masks, even the double, triple, quadruple boosted people can all see through this now. It's coming out in the mainstream news. So now we're at the point where the people who followed the science the whole way through, who listened to Dr. Fauci like he was God, they listened to him. And now when it's all getting reversed, now they don't want to trust the science anymore. Now they don't want to trust the narrative. Like, oh, well, this is, I mean, they've been backed into a corner. They painted themselves into a corner, and now they don't know what to do. Their whole world is starting to collapse because they wouldn't even allow conversation. They wouldn't even allow another opinion. They wouldn't even be allowed to prove you wrong. They just told you to shut up and obey with every single thing they do. So now that New York is being inundated with thieves and criminals, they're just saying, well, maybe you should make them take their mask off. These people are absolutely despicable. But thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, share, and of course, subscribe.